Hey everybody, welcome back to Overland, Florida. This is Kevin, and this is a beautiful, beautiful Monday afternoon. It is about 11:20 in the morning, just before noon, and you could not ask for better weather. It is about 75 degrees, and I'm out here in the Withlacoochee Forest. We're a few miles from anything, and I'm about a mile and a half from McNeil campsite. I'm the first one here. Ron's gonna come out here probably about an hour and a half. Noah's gonna be out here at about 3:30. So I'm just gonna enjoy the nice little relaxing drive out here. I love this campground. I love this little forest. I always see deer or turkeys out here. Sometimes I see both, so maybe we'll get lucky. I worked 36 hours this weekend between Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. I got off at 7 o'clock this morning and met Josh at Fat Jack's in Lakeland for breakfast. Then I ran some errands, loaded up the truck, got out here about 11:30. Now I'm gonna go set up my hammock, take a little nap. This is a little fishing spot on the way to the campsite. This is the Withlacoochee River. And as you can see, a long, long time ago, there was, must have been a bridge. I doubt there's kind of like a dock right here, but there's some posts right there in the middle. It looks like there's a bridge going across right here. I just love this little drive-in right here to the campsite. So this is the McNeil camping area. There's about 4 designated campsites with picnic tables and fire rings. You can pretty much just move everything around, camp however you want. Do not recommend camping over here. We've camped here dozens of times, way more than I can count. There's so many bugs in this grass right here. It's unbelievable at nighttime. It just comes alive. So the best places are the 2 right by the river where it's just kind of like dirt. Not very many bugs. Good places to camp. Got a well right here for washing dishes and stuff like that. Not drinking water, of course. But another thing you have to worry about when you come out here is these trees. A lot of dead limbs. As you can see, this one right here is leaning. That's a widowmaker right there. So don't camp over here. Like I said, the safest place is where we camp over there all the time. I just can't get over the weather today. It is awesome. Everybody's at work because it's Monday. Here's my little camp setup so far. It's only been about 30 minutes since I got here. It's like 12:20. But we have a couple of different videos we're gonna make today. We're gonna make an actual camping video, which is what this is gonna be, but Ron and I are gonna make a separate video, a review of this Min Grills pressure cooker. This was sent to us. We used it 4 times, maybe 5 times to get used to it, kind of get the hang of it, and it turned out awesome. So now we're actually gonna make a video, separate video solely just for this. So thanks for sending this to us. They actually make some huge ones, like 3 times the size of this, feed a ton of people. This right now, one this size, in one of the videos, I think it was Bennett Field Campground, Ron put like 6 pounds of beef in here, and we cooked it up with potatoes and carrots and everything. It was delicious. That could feed, I don't know, 7, 8, maybe 9 people. So other than the pressure cooker video, we got the Lodge 12 Dutch oven right here. Ron's gonna be cooking some awesome dinner in that. He's kind of excited. He's been wanting to make this for a long time. So I'll let him explain what he's gonna cook because that's his thing. Got a little bit of firewood back here. And we're gonna make a separate video for this Life Do portable fire pit. I like this. It is really heavy. It's nothing you could obviously take backpacking, which means it's really good quality. But I like it how it folds flat. So basically, I'm just gonna leave this on top of the box the whole time. And I can put my little sleeping mat on top of it or a little rug or what have you, and you won't even know it's there. So I like that fact. So it's got a couple good things going for it. We'll make a video. It's gonna be separate. Other than that, still haven't got my topper. I'm kind of lazy. I'm gonna go Friday before we camp at Hardy Lakes and go pick it up Friday. Then we're gonna camp Saturday. So finally get this all cleaned up, back to organized like it should be. Let's go see if a little alligator friend is back over here. I haven't seen him today, but we have seen the alligator a few times since we've camped here. It's only like a 3.5 footer. It's probably grown a lot since then. So it's about 4:45. I took a nap in the hammock. Ron came with his trailer, and our friend Noah from the Cooking with Fentanyl video is here with his awesome homemade trailer and his 4Runner. You guys probably didn't see that because he came at nighttime and left before the sun came up, so we didn't really get to show his vehicles at all.
I post a lot on different groups around Facebook and ask people what's something I should make camping. Well, a few of you have said I should make beef Wellington. Well, today's the day that we're going to finally make our beef Wellington. So we have our fillet of beef right here. We have our pashado. We have our puff pastry. We have our mushrooms, and we have our English mustard. So let's go ahead and get started. So our first step here is we have our old Griswold pan over here on our camp stove. It's heating up. We got to do a dash of olive oil. So olive oil in. Then let that get heated up. Then we're going to add a bit of butter. Just a little bit of butter. We don't want it to be too intense. So now we took our beef fillet out of the package. We covered it heavy in some ground black pepper and some sea salt. And we're going to go ahead and set it here in our hot pan. Alright, so what we're doing here is we are just searing up the sides. We're not actually cooking the meat because we still want to have that good medium rare taste. So don't forget to flip it on over here. Sear the ends off. Now that we have our meat seared up, we need to pull it off the stove, sit it right down on the plate, and then what we need to do is we need to cover it with mustard almost instantly as soon as it gets off, because as the meat starts to cool, it'll start to soak in a lot of this mustard and get that flavor right in there. So you just cover it heavily with mustard. Now normally we'd use a brush, but I don't have a brush and these rubber gloves work perfectly. So we'll rub this down, get it all nice and covered. So now we have our mushrooms ready to go. We have our little food processor, and we're going to add the mushrooms into the food processor without spilling them all over the tailgate. We just completed chopping up some of the mushrooms here in the food processor. What you want to do is you either want to finely chop them or cut them up in a food processor, and you want to try to get the fresh garlic and the mushrooms down about as small as you can. And what the whole purpose of this is you're cooking it and you're removing a lot of the moisture from it. So you want to have your pan with little to no butter in it and just dump it in, and you're basically just steaming out all the water and cooking the mushrooms. No, this is not ground beef, even though it looks like it's ground beef. Just drop that on in there and let a lot of that water and moisture steam out of there. All right, so a quick update on the mushrooms. We're steaming out most of the water and the moisture. It takes a little bit of time. All right, so now we're just gonna open this up. It's a little bit tricky because they place it on these thin slices because it's a very thin cut of meat. So you're gonna go ahead and pull it off. And you wanna lay flat strips out, and you want them to slightly overlap each other. This might be a bit hard to do with gloves on. Pashado is normally naturally pretty salty, so we're not going to add any salt here, but we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of pepper on there. Now we're going to take our mushroom paste that we made here, that we dried all the water out of, slap it on there, and we're just going to kind of rub it in and spread it out across the pashado. Here. Didn't quite make enough, but it'll be enough to do here. Then we're gonna take our fillet of beef here. It's covered in mustard and seared, and we're gonna set it right down on here. Then we're gonna bring up our foil here. Actually, we want to get it up just a little bit more. We'll put it right about there. Bring it up, pull it about as tight as you can, and we just want to roll it and use the foil here to get this pulled tight up, about as tight as we can get it. As you can see here, our fillet of beef is perfectly wrapped up in the cling wrap, and we added this shadow in there. There's a little bit of mustard that came out on the outside, but other than that, it's nice and tight. Now we're going to go ahead and pop it over into the fridge, let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes, and help it cling all together.
So Noah caught a couple fish while he was out there.
Yes, the rare
Cooking them up right now.
pork fish.
Meanwhile, we got the beef Wellington in the refrigerator for a little while. Got the fire going pretty good thanks to Noah while we were cooking. So far, pretty good day.
Noah, who did
It's
not
pretty
get
chilly.
fire badge.
Yeah. Starting to get pretty chilly. I think the low is going to be 60. We might be able to see like 58 degrees here tonight since we're kind of out in the middle of the woods. So we're going to go full glamper tonight. We got everything set up. Even busted out the rope lights. Ridiculously bright, just those rope lights themselves. There's a link in the description for these rope lights. We've used them quite a few times.
I'd say back about 2 or 3 months ago, a company called Men Grills actually sent us this campfire camping pressure cooker. We've used it a couple times now, and it is absolutely wonderful. I love it. The outside texture is very durable. It hasn't scratched or been damaged from rolling around in the bed of trucks, getting beaten around, cooked in fires. It takes a little bit of time for it to actually heat up, but once it actually heats up, it's absolutely unstoppable. Even when you pull it out of the fire, it still holds its heat pretty well. It's got quite a bit of room on the inside, and tonight what we're going to be cooking in there with our beef Wellington is we are going to add some vegetable broth, 2 onions. We have some of our little potatoes we like to cook, and we're going to add some carrots and make like a little vegetable soup side dish to go along with the beef Wellington. It's time to begin. In goes our vegetable stock. Vegetable stock in. Then we cut our onions up a little bit different. So they're just going to drop in just like this. That way they kind of piece together. Now we did a mix of red onions and your standard white onions. Then we're going to add in some carrots. And Kevin's favorite, potatoes.
Gotta love your potatoes.
Drop that in there. Then we're going to add just a little bit of water. We're going to add some salt and pepper and some seasonings, and we're going to seal it up and throw it on the fire.
We got the pressure cooker right there as close as we can to the coals of the fire. Probably gonna leave it on there for about 30-40 minutes maybe.
Now we have our puff pastry laid out. Now we have some eggs right here. We're going to do a little bit of an egg wash here onto the dough. This will assist in it sticking to the prosciutto that we wrapped up our beef fillet in. So we just rub that down a little bit, and we want to save a little bit left over there to do the outside. Now we're going to pop this up, set it on there, and roll it up. Now, due to refrigeration, this absolutely formed the perfect shape, just to what we needed to set right on here and roll up into our puff pastry. So we're going to set this down right about here. And we're going to do a very similar method as we did with the prosciutto, where we use the saran wrap to help get that really tight fold onto the Wellington. So we're going to bring the saran wrap up. Now we had to do 2 pieces here, so it's going to be a tad bit tricky. but we should have it here. So bring it up and over, pull tight, bring this down, bring the other side up, and hopefully we have enough to wrap this giant beef fillet in. It looks like we will have just enough. The Wellington's all rolled up. Now what we do here is we pull this tight and we twist up these ends. By doing this, it's going to help pull everything together. And now this is going to go back in the fridge for maybe 20 minutes or so to help it form its shape even better. Then we'll cut the saran wrap off, then we'll place it in the Dutch oven. So we have our Wellington, just came out of the fridge from chilling, and we've got it right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the back of our knife here, and we're going to do just a little bit of a slit right down the back side here, and then we're going to score it down along the edge. It's just going to make it look a little bit nicer. Now to give the outside just a little bit of an extra crunch, we have some sea salt here in this grinder. We're going to dump some salt right along on the top. Once that's done, we are going to take our egg wash and we're going to cover the outside with a little bit of egg. Wellington in. Absolutely beautiful. We're going to throw this on the fire, put some coals across the top, and it'll be good to go.
This is my favorite part about camping out here. The owls are so loud, and they go on for hours sometimes. So simultaneously we have the owls going, and we just had a pack of hogs run through the front of the trucks. Well, they're gone as fast as they came.
Wow, that was fast.
I can't even tell you how many were there. It was that fast. You can still hear them. We're about to do an update on the beef Wellington, and then we can start eating. But if you want a campsite to get all kinds of wildlife, all hours of the night, deer during the day, turkeys, McNeil Campground, I think, is the most wild at night when it comes to wildlife that I've ever camped at in Florida. So while everybody was getting firewood, I was cooking this beef Wellington for the last 3 hours. And I got it ready for Ron to put into production.
All right, so here's our beef Wellington. It absolutely came out perfect. We have this nice little golden brown crunch over here. It's not burnt. It smells absolutely delicious. You can really smell that. It does
smell awesome, to be honest
beef
with you.
Flavor coming out of it. So we're gonna get us a spatula here, and then the tongs, and we're gonna set it onto our cutting board, and we're gonna slice it open and see how it looks. So here's our beef Wellington. It's done. We've let it sit, so we're going to go ahead and slice into it. We want to have about 1-inch slices. Hopefully, it's all the way cooked. That is dough. So we didn't quite get all the way into the meat there, but we're going to give this a little slice here. Perfect. It's a little bit overdone, but should turn out perfect.
Oh, I wouldn't say that's overdone. Oh man, it smells amazing.
I can smell it from here.
So here's our beef Wellington. It's done. It absolutely tastes amazing. Just a little bit of puff pastry that we tried. Here is a charging cord that's in the way. Then over here, we have our stew. We've got some onions, we've got potatoes, we've got some carrots, all in the chicken broth, a little bit of seasoning. This will be our side dish here.
And that's in our Min Grills pressure cooker. So there's a link in the description. They have all kinds of sizes. This, I don't even know what size this is, but they make one that's like 3 or 4 times as large as that, and you could feed an entire army. So here's the final result, and now it's time to dig in. So you know it's a really good meal when there's absolutely no talking. Everyone's just sitting quietly eating. Enjoying the owls. We got invaded by hogs. That was kind of interesting. I guess I need a beer bottle opener. Add that to the list of junk for our glamping trips. So it's about 9:30 in the morning. We're starting to clean up. It's amazing the amount of stuff we brought to make a beef Wellington. I don't remember using a bunch of stuff last night, but when we woke up, we had so much stuff out. But surprisingly, we've been here dozens and dozens of times, and we have yet to see a raccoon or have something go through our trash. So for as much wildlife that's out here, like last night we heard coyotes pretty close, tons of owls, random animals that we couldn't ID. And then while that was going on, there was a pack of hogs that ran right through here in front of all the vehicles last night, which is pretty crazy. That's definitely probably the most dangerous thing out here besides coyotes, but they don't usually approach humans. And then our little alligator friend, which we did not see this trip. Before we get everything put away, I just want to give a big thank you to George. He went out of his way and had his friend Eric in Winter Haven custom make a chopping block for us, or a cutting board. It is really great quality. It's nice and thick. It's probably one of the thicker chopping blocks I think I've personally seen. Usually they're all kind of thin like the other one we have. But this thing looks awesome. Custom laser engraved logo right there. So thank you, Eric, who's the person that actually made this, which is George's friend. I'm trying to get his information. Maybe he's got a Facebook page I can share, but I'm gonna get a couple more of these made. Starting this spring, Ron's gonna have his own cooking channel. So I'm gonna get another one made and have Ron's cooking channel logo on there, as well as some other stuff, probably the blood rail that goes around the edge. Those are always nice to have too. So we're gonna get a couple more custom made, and I'll be more than happy to pass the info on to you guys, because these chopping blocks are under 50 bucks, depending on which one you go with. And great quality, and it's always nice to support someone local as well. So this is something that will last you a lifetime, and that you can always have and use camping, or of course at the house. So Ron and I are on our way to Tenor Rock Gun Range. We're gonna go shoot some trap today. But we're actually hunting for a mom and pop diner, greasy spoon place to eat some breakfast. My go-to place in Lakeland is Fat Jack's, which is actually where I ate before we came on the camping trip. It's a good place. Nothing's changed probably since 1965 when it opened up. But just in case we don't pass anything, we're probably just gonna go to Cracker Barrel on I-4. Looks like there's a pretty good cold front coming today, so this weekend when we're camping at Hardy Lakes, I think the high is gonna be in the 60s, so that'd be really nice for camping. But on the flip side, it's gonna be pretty dang cold probably for tent camping. Well, that was a delicious breakfast, country fried steak from Cracker Barrel. Unfortunately, Tenor Rock was closed today, so we're gonna have to save the trap shooting for another camping trip. But again, thanks to George and Eric for the chopping block. It's awesome. We're gonna continue to use it. It's something that you can use, of course, camping in the house. Also a really good gift idea. So I will continue to get Eric's information. Maybe he's got a Facebook page for his custom boards. He can also engrave anything that you want in it, and he can also make the little blood rail around the edge. So keep that in mind, support someone local. And other than that, I'm gonna clean out this nasty truck today, and I think I got all my supplies to do all the maintenance on my boat. So I'm gonna knock out all the boat stuff today, and summer's right around the corner. It's pretty much here. We got another cold front coming this weekend. As soon as this last cold front comes through, I'm gonna be going out 2 or 3 times a week. Fortunately, my boat is really fuel efficient, so it costs me literally nothing to go out for 2 or 3 times a week all summer long. So if you're off a weekday and you have a canoe, a small skiff, or a flats boat, and you want to go explore some rivers, I frequent the Weeki River, Rainbow River. I'm going to be going down the Silver River to Silver Springs, then down through Ocklawaha. So if you want to go out and explore some springs during the week when it's not crowded, full of kayakers and tubers, let me know, because I go out pretty often. So again, thanks everybody for watching the videos. Now I got a bunch of chores to do.